there's still like that sense of yummy, luscious, abstract sort of edges still carried on.
What exactly is video feedback?
Just where you take the output and put it back in the input.
In terms of the footage we saw, the stuff, I saw some of the sliding over context.
Okay. Before I got into the actual VDJ stuff pre-recorded, I did in the last bit, but VDJ, the colours are a bit washed out.
What I really love the way that text and graphics is integrated into your bass track, your bass video, and then you're able to then put, and it's almost like the closer you get to the front of your layering, the sharper it is. So you've got that real, you're layering some stuff in the back and then sharp stuff on top. It actually sort of fades into grain.
Yeah, usually the stuff that start off as the front works its way into the back, you know, like because it'll be
effective.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll start something as something on a computer, and then it'll end up working its way into onto a tape or something like that, and then so it becomes a later thing anyway. But this stuff here, that's video material with feedback.
What's the screen?
Yeah, basically, it's mixed with the raw video footage filmed back over the top of itself.
Right, so it's not actually you mixing something in on the computer over the top?
No, that's just a mixer and a camera and footage, raw footage. Yeah, sure. Okay.
That thing that you did where it was the that close up the missile going to bomb, and then you had the outlay of the human figure.
Yeah.
Over it. I really like that.
Yeah, I find often like I kind of deal with the same materials or same subjects over and over again, and then I end up. The juxtaposition often happen just by chance, and then it'll end up on a mixtape or something, and I'll go, oh, I love that, and I grab it and reuse it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So like a lot of them aren't necessarily totally, aren't totally. Then they're chosen. You know, that's through a squash racket. Camera pointed at a TV through a squash racket, going like this. It had coloured strings. So.
I just really like the way that if you do something like that, you don't make that like. With that bit maybe you did, but it was like you still, it had a place within your composition.
Yeah, usually randomly though. There's lots of conscious decisions, but they're all, they're not, yeah, it's quite,
That feedback's really brilliant. Try doing that in the program.
No, I don't think you could do it with software.
There's stuff you do with feedback you can't.
Alright, this is a patch that Justin made. You can see it there, it's like a broccoli feedback effect using Visual Jockey, using this software. It's basically it's like a patch like with NATO, these different objects here, all feedback here. This one leads into, you can see where the line gets drawn there. That one goes to this one up here, and this one goes down to the root. So I've been working with that to make, like Justin showed.
Yeah.
What's up, the local media? It's my man JT. We're from TLM. Local motive. Let's see support the people in Adelaide, the fringe. Woo, woo.
That's it. Good on you. Get set. Go.
Nicholas and Rundle always got the best. I'm the freshest like a greengrocer. I'm the dopest MC. Now I'm not credibility to the people in Adelaide, the Fringe Festival. You know that we keep it cool like I was a freezer, not looking for a skeezer in Adelaide in the alleyway. Hitting up for the TLM crew. By the way, my name. I'm kicking the freestyle to rearrange. Nicholas can get deaf, you know what I mean? I can't hear you when you put your hearing aid in. You know what I mean? I'll put you in the bin like this. You know what I mean? The sin bin. MCs don't wanna begin where I finish. You know what I mean? Diminish MCs. I wanna be done like dinner. I wanna have my first course before I hit the second course. My dessert is coming late. When it comes to this, I open up the gate. MCs are like freight trains, they're running away. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it down with the digital display. And he's all on the camera, frothing from the mouth. I've been drinking too many beers. As long as they're South Aussie like Coopers, I bust no bloopers. MCs need purpose scoopers. They be talking shit in between their ears. You know what I'm saying? You better get it clear, my dear.
You can stand there, that's alright. Smile.
If you don't think, you shouldn't talk.
VHS tomorrow. Yeah.
We've worked in lots of different ways. We were on tour last year with some shots of the tour as well, where we worked exactly alongside of the musicians on stage and they were live audio acts. Wherever possible, we try and be as close to audio acts as possible, particularly
Depends on the gig position. If you've got a really interesting screen installation where you need a mix off the screen, if you're doing anything interesting with the screen installations, you really want to be in a front of house position from our point of view, so you can see the screens that you're mixing to. If there's any kind of relationship with the audio acts that you're trying to build on, and there's a synergy between the audio acts, then you're trying to be closer to the stage. We've done some ideal situations with the Zen, the screen audio act, where the audio acts can see the screen, we can see the audio acts can see us, and the audience can see all three. That can work really well.
Do you find it hard to get promoted for example, where to set up?
Yeah. In particular, even though we were like a group of our friends, that like in particular time when we had the Z formation, that was an hour and a half to 2 hour argument about the stage setup. Like, you know. But yeah, so getting everyone, and then these are more for playing, more for hiring those tapes that we do for the whole night live. Yeah.
Some
That
people
we're
think,
desperate.
you know, I'll just buy any tape, but no, I don't earn my money by the selling of tapes. I earn money by turning up to the show, and I am the show.
Yeah, exactly.
And we make them sign massive legal agreements for a night.
All that?
It's funny because I reckon that tapes is what killed it here in Adelaide when it first tried to kick off in the early 90s.
Yeah.
As far as I know, a few people did a few interesting things, and then all of a sudden there were tapes, and promoters just started swapping dubs of tapes, and that was it. Like,
Wouldn't be able to do that by handing someone a tape?
no, because they don't know what's behind it. They don't know like
flyers.
any of the thoughts.
Flyers. Like it's only more recently that visual acts are going in on flyers.
Yeah, well, we do things like, I mean, you would have seen the shots of walking up the ball in Adelaide and shots of Kirsten and Anthony and the Swans as well. That was all shot here yesterday, and that we do that kind of thing whenever we work at an event. We try and engage with local content, and you know that way the audience feels like somehow they're in the story as well.
Yeah, there's lots of these little tricks you can do to make it look more live. Go
obviously
down
not
to black when a track really, like in between DJ sets when everyone's clapping, go down to black. You know, Yeah, computer can do that, but like it does give you some more feelings of live. You know, the fact that there's someone actually in control.
So what kind of feedback do you get?
Do you get a camera and you,
no. Well, I just wonder, like, there's a hell of a lot of work installing these things. Are people? I presume you've done a lot. Like, are you then aligning yourself with the whole creation of the events? Like, is it like, you know, if people are really liking the way that events are organised, they'll start to think.
Yeah, well, we do tend to work with particular promoters over a period of years. So, when we work with those promoters, that like those promoters have become educated now, and they like, you know, they're thinking, you know, they start incorporating their whole ideas of their party design into our screen installation, and they start doing a lot of work for us, start thinking of new and innovative screen designs, and meet with us 6 months before the gig and still say, okay, now what are we going to do this time, kind of thing. So, and that's so that educating the promoter is a really important thing as well. And these guys have got it. They don't hire lasers anymore. They hire us, and they do interesting screen design.
Yeah, and then they know what they're getting for their money as well, and probably you've been offered more because of that, have you? Has your rate increased because they're educated?
Over the X years, where with the first gig we got paid expenses, and then it was $150, and then one gig we got, you know, several more recently. Now we get several $100s a gig out of them, you know, if not more. You know, and that's like over time they've learnt the value of us, and they value us more and write us into the budget as their parties have got bigger as well.
But it's only some kinds of promoters.
Promoter relationships really, really important.
Yeah, that's why we're not so interested in playing in clubs. Like, the club environment is very restrictive from our perspective, because they just want to say, oh, well, I want to pay as little as possible. I want to pay, like, you know, $100 on video. You know, just tack that projector in the corner and that screen on that wall, and whoever comes in just will get $100 for the night. But we're really not interested in just like a tiny little screen in a dark corner. We always try and do stuff that's playing with the audience and trying to break out of the 4x3 screen as well. I mean, if this were a gig, we'd probably be looking at some way of installing the screen in an interesting way to work with the space. And to do that in the club environment, they're really not interested in spending the money. So that's why we're really starting to look at putting on our own events, and we're sort of planning some multi-screen projects. We've got two we're kicking off this year. One is a multi-screen documentary, and the other one's a sort of multi-artist.
Your combustion bitter.
Those guys look.
Play?
Yeah, can we bring the Matrix?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Matrix is already incorporated into the event.
Excellent. I'll be there too.
Yeah,
because like, we can get Quilt reprogrammed for that Matrix.
And to play.
It sure is. I mean, in Sydney, there's like a suite of VJs and AV production houses that all kind of click together, and you've got to be buddies in the right way to be part of it. But I don't know, I haven't sort of really been pushing to get involved in the way we are comfortable being involved with other promoters, just because it would mean kind of having to conform too much to their way of doing things.
I don't know what
with that progression of, and then finding other things that link into that externally. So, you know, I was trying to link in the Black Women in Black Against War with the comic stuff, which threw up OK, so I'm a girl, and then the world population growth curve, because I sort of thought there was a conceptual link there. And so just knowing what was on that DVD, and knowing that we can play that like 1,000 times and it won't ever wear out.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with disc is like tape, you lose colour so quickly. Quality.
You can still get that same linear progression with Visual Jockey, but just the DVD format is so reliable. Like,
well, you don't chew up a huge amount of hard disk space to fill up your 20 minutes of high quality video.
Do you play DVD on a portable player?
Not at this stage. No. It's like a deck like this.
Just a DVD deck.
Yeah.
No, we can't afford one of the gizmos with a flip-up screen. Nice. But we also do work a lot off MiniDV. Like, I do a lot of I use MiniDV for really immediate cut-up stuff, like going out shooting stuff or just preparing some really rushed.
One layer with one, and then another layer with the other, so you can build up 3 layers, and it adds video quality, so the key can be really kind of nice
Is that just running one MX into the other one?
Yeah,
And
so it's like a tree
done
structure. You've got
Yeah.
two sources being mixed on one 12 and then coming into the other 12 you've got another source. Like
Hey, do you
that.
use the external camera much? Like, it's something that I'm just about to start doing with the 10, but it
You
seemed
can't
like
use
it,
external camera input because you need to be synced.
so it has to be gen locked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But you can
gen
do
locked to source 2.
Yeah.
What, to the through on source 2?
There's actually a
that'll work.
sync generator on the back of the 10, which is basically like a pass through of
Channel 2.
input 2 anyway.
So if I lock the external camera to that,
Yeah.
alright, thanks.
Okay, so they're the two sources.
That actually brings up something. Like you guys use a hell of a lot of keying.
Yeah,
We hardly ever, like, unless it's a hard techno party where you start jamming and then doing a lot of switching, like we tend to be.
Keyers.
So you see us with up here on the key section, like we're like,
Yep. I mean, keying, especially, well, you're always going to get jagged edges. It's always going to be something which separates it from studio-produced work. So do you think that sort of adds to the live aesthetic to some extent, or?
Well, I think it's basically a decision we made that we would go with that aesthetic and make it part of our look. I don't know whether it's necessarily a live thing. I mean, certainly the key on this, even though it's crusty, it's still actually a better resolution and a better quality than 320 by 240 clips that are keyed in a VDJ.
And is that sort of Fairlight, taped Fairlight stuff with the, or is that the chrome key thing on the MX
That's
as well?
Actually, no, that's that. You're talking about the ensemble.
Like no, and the pink, you've got that magenta.
Yeah, that's actually there isn't any Fairlight process stuff in any of the stuff we use today.
Oh, really? Wow.
Look, the colorization was mostly a combination of boosting colour hue saturation in Premiere, which I do a lot because this particular keying method requires quite high contrast, so that it is high contrast.
Because it looks like that magenta there is an effect I had on the Fairlight last night.
Yeah,
It's just like that sort of type of colour.
Yeah.
That thing in the background, by the way, for everyone.
It's electro-fringe.
That's electro-fringe. It's an art installation. Yeah, an installation we did with Kirsten.
When the Video Nexus were at Electro Fringe last year, we did a few collaborative things like run a workshop space, and this was the linear concrete site-specific installation that used two overlapping projectors and another space to create sort of ghosts walking up and down an old
scar of a staircase on the wall.
And we worked collaboratively on it, so Kirsten and I both did recce's to shoot shots and make up templates. And then we set up a staircase, a short 4-step staircase at my place, and shot people walking up the 4 steps, up and down, and then acrossways, and then turned that into a little rotoscope loop.
Then you can see repurposing of content.
Yeah.
Stairs that we shot the original footage on.
Why didn't we use that on the wall? Why did no one make it to the wall?
Because I had to rotoscope over 200 or 300 images just to do the ones we did.
What's rotoscope?
It's basically
we hadn't edited the crazy bit at that point anyway.
It's drawing frame by frame.
Drawing frame by frame.
Yeah, like so you
and
do
then,
the frame
animated
computer,
it. Then
Photoshop each frame.
in After
But the weird shit about it is each frame, of course, is made of different
Actually
fields.
animated using
So you can
Flash
do
and
both fields
Just
and do them the same, so you don't get
Final Cut
field
Pro
flicker. It's full on
and
the
After
same frame.
Effects.
So what you do is
So how did you get the foot?
Hello? It's nice, I was getting first.
Like it works, like it. Even the overlay works just by pressing mode, full mode. Yeah, no, first read, you know.
You have to follow the kit?
You do, but you got it, man. You got it. Shot key.
Why? Be good if this external staffing had done so. I was just going to say.
That's alright. I was just going to say a few words before I do some stuff. Thanks for your silence. I'm going to just use a program called IKS Expose, which a lot of people use, and just triggering clips on that and mixing with a tape called Japanorama, just basically just running a backup tape when things aren't working out for the back to not so much. I prefer to just use all computer, but I'll just have that running. Just do that for about 10 minutes or something, but then I'll show this other program which I'm starting to use but having trouble with getting to the live state called VDMX, and it allows a more processy sort of playing, but I don't like to use it live too much. It's more sporadic. I like offline for generating content, and so I'll play around with it for a long time, cycle through things and find interesting bits and then sample those, but I haven't used it live yet, but I'd like to get up to the stage of using it live. But so I'll do this in two parts. One will be the how I'll play live and hit things, and then after that just more playing around and exploring some of the effects of that and some of the ways that I'm starting to prefer to move on and use things. So and I'd appreciate lots of harsh criticisms and feedbacks, but especially on specific little bits. Like I know I tend to have a jumbled collage of footage from everywhere. I don't mind where I sample from or how I generate it, and get things from lots of different sources. So there's a lot of different styles of stuff in the mix. But I appreciate people saying, "Oh, this bit just looks really dumb. It's so 1997, or it's I don't know, whatever you want to say." Just say you don't like bits and say you do like bits. And
while you perform.
Use the word whack. It's crap. Anybody can criticise while I'm performing except me.
The word whack.
Whack.
That's gay.
And that's Sao Paulo in Brazil. A friend sent a rooftop. It's a helipad. And I put the rabbit on top.
Really?
No.
a section like just before Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So now I find that you're pretty much limited. I don't know. I find that you can't really do both. When there's someone else who's mixing and they're able to apply stuff, and then it's you might be doing a good bit and it doesn't go up, but still then they do a good bit and cool. And
the reworking of filler stuff, I noticed parts of that we did last night. That kind of maybe zoomed in on parts or something. Like some of it, like it looks different to what it did last night. Obviously that's something.
So why do you use skateboards?
Use a skater.
Because of the beautiful motion of 4 wheels and a piece of wood on any surface.
I love the way it's like watching this.
Nice cue for wiping on a transition to something else. And also
everything moves from like there's gajillion things.
Yeah, and I've just zoomed in on this. Like I like the motion of skateboards. You know, it's an aerial urban balance.
I think it's really valid too.
The reason I asked, I was really impressed with the low res and whatever effects, whatever stuff we use, really don't care. In forming this picture, and you could bring in the funny clips, and they didn't look like sort of kooky, cartoony. I'm just going to add this in for laughs, like on the Muppets, what they've been doing. It really looked like you were showing this chaotic kind of view of this whole media thing. Everything that you eat up day to day, you're feeding back into, which I'm sure we all are always consuming video and finding video and mixing it together. But I mean, skate.
As well, but I've just loaded a new bank of clips, so I captured some skate footage that I really liked, and so I don't know, I like playing the newer clips, and I could have played an older set, but I don't know, it feels nicer to be playing the new things that I have just seen, and it's still exciting for me to see them on the screen, so I was playing some of those, but yeah, I'm aware that there are non-skaters in the world, and
especially to all the Lappy users who do a lot of treating off. But the amount of effort, I mean, it's a lot of effort to be gathering clips and compressing them and getting them, putting them in banks and getting them ready. And you tend to have then a limited amount of material to work with, and then you get a lot more repetition if you're doing a long set. So how do Lappy use that?
Short to 6.